Hello everybody from Gamescom 2025. It's good.
That is right, everybody. I've been to Gamescom 2025. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another one of my videos. This is going to be a bit of a recap, vlog, podcasty little thing where we'll just hang out and I'll showcase some stuff I got on Gamescom, talk about the games that I saw, and generally the look and feel of the convention itself. So, let us just start off by showcasing you the look and feel of the convention by just showing you how it feels and looks. In any case, Gamescom this year has been very much a better, bigger, and more awesome experience than the previous few years. The convention has been, to showcase how experienced I am, I have been on Gamescom from its very first iteration, and the only time I haven't been is the previous year, where my scheduling and my chance to get a place to stay failed. So in the end I kind of gave up on it and decided not to go. But this year, thanks to an amazing woman, I was able to be hosted by her, and I was able to also go there as press with the the editorial that I work with and write my reviews from some of the games. In any case, I was able to once again go and see Gamescom, and I'm happy to do so, and I'm glad because it's been the biggest I think it ever was. So you can see some scenes not just from inside the halls but inside the main walkway, the main thoroughfare where you go to connect to other halls, and just the amount of people walking around. I should have proper Gamescom listing, and I might do that as I talk. I could check out my emails and stuff that I got, because I should get a recap of what's how many people visited Gamescom and what's been happening. So we could just check if I got that. Just informations. Okay, I have the winners. Yep. Let me see if it says anything about the visitors. They usually send me a kind of a recap as well of how many people came, what it was. But apparently this year I didn't get any. We'll just read the games that won best stuff at Gamescom at one point. But for now, let us focus on just the convention itself. As I said, it's become big again. The previous few years, after the virus age, it ended up being smaller. Big companies didn't really get back to it instantly. A lot of people didn't visit it instantly. It was still crowded, but you could feel that it wasn't as big as before, especially to people who were there many years, consecutively. One whole hall wasn't even used. Either was it hall 6 or was it hall 7 at certain years. It was used for opening night live and maybe for a concert or two, but it was basically underused. This year, halls 8, 9, 7 and 6 were completely booked by exhibition shows from different games. Hall 5 was again bigger. It had 2 layers of merchants and selling. A third of it was still in cosplay, but everything else was basically selling. There was also a place, a lot more was focused on TCGs this year. Basically every big, the Holy Trinity and every other big and even smaller TCG was able to be showcased there, and you could even play games, play demos, get promos. There were even some tournaments in some of the games. I think probably in Yu-Gi-Oh! I didn't really pay attention to it, but there was also a bunch of people playing that. So it was a bigger focus on that. Hall 10 was again kind of divided between retro, jobs and like schools. A giant portion was dedicated again to indie arena. I could stay there basically for most of the day, if not all of the day, or even 2 days, just in the indie arena playing all of the indies. So that's an amazing feeling there. Like if you wanna, check out all the indies, that's basically the best place to be. Their booths are always open. You can stand and watch somebody play, or you can, sit and play yourselves. The turnover with people is pretty quick, so you don't really need to wait much. Like this is the image mostly of that part of the convention. It's just huge, and I love it. Also, there is a lot of activities. From table tennis to like laser tag and many other things that you can play there, which is pretty cool. Like Hall 10 is an amazing hall, but they have added 2 more halls. I think Hall 11 and Hall 1, where Hall 11 was like a sign-up area for like probably popular guys or popular YouTubers, where you can meet them, do signings and stuff like that. But Hall 1 was also used for entertainment, or like basically the concerts, the meetups. Viva the Dirt League had like a special event there where they did skits, so that's also another hall that was reused and opened up to the public, which is amazing. That means the Gamescoms have become even better than before, or bigger than before. In any case, that is my general experience of the convention. Surely it's been growing for a few years, then as I said, the virus age hit, then it shrunk massively, like to the point of like even I was like it's been a good Gamescom, but it's still kind of shrinking, it's getting smaller. I was worried that it would maybe even die out, but no, it bounced back, got bigger than before, and it is a thing that I am happy to see bounce back. Basically just because I like the place, I like going there, I like meeting people. Also an amazing thing about the indie arena is that you can just meet the developers of the games that are right there. Like they are right there with their game, they're gonna be talking to you, taking your feedback, and basically you can know who is making the game. That's the guy, that's somebody who's working there. Maybe if it's a small team, maybe if it's a one developer, and it's a cool thing. You can also find a lot of tech companies just showing off their tech in Hall 10. There's sometimes in other halls as well. Previously, like you would have Hall 8 be just MMOs or like those kinds of online games, but now it's just been mixed all together, so there's not a dedicated hall to a type of game. And of course, Blizzard is again taking up not half the hall, but 1/4 of it. That same thing happened for Microsoft with their massive booths. There are a few things or a few tricks for experienced people. If there is like, let's say you wanted to play Silksong, you could have played it at their booth. You could have played it at I think Microsoft had a booth for that, and you could have played it at Nintendo booth. Basically, some games, not that they're just too popular, it's just that they can. There's so many platforms, and so many platforms want to show them off. You can actually find them on multiple places on Gamescom, and that way you can see where the line is bigger or smaller and join it. The lines weren't that huge, and most of the time they were moving fast because over the years even the PR guys who were working there or like organizing that figured out that it's better to just have a stand with tons and tons of machines, tons and tons of like PCs for people to quickly go through, go through a crowd, than to just have massive booth that has a bunch of random crap, but just maybe 10 or 20 machines inside. So of course there were smaller booths, there were bigger booths. It just depends on the publisher and developer and how they want to design it or showcase it. Here you can see it, as I said, it is one machine, one game, and still there are no lines. Possibly because people want to see bigger games, but if you are an indie enthusiast like myself, you will be able to play everything here without too many lines. The only lines that you can see like this are for when they're giving away free food, or when they're giving away something, or if there is like a wheel you know spin and then get some reward, or if there's like a signing with somebody not important but somebody famous at the point. In any case, it is a experience that I would honestly suggest for everybody who is into gaming to go there and well, see. Yeah, I didn't say it. The Gamescom, the main one, is being held in Germany, in the town called Cologne. It's usually at the end of August, and you can pretty much already know when the next one is gonna be. They literally have a date set for the next one when the current one begins. Next one is supposed to be from 26th to the 38th of August. There is a opening night live that you can buy tickets for. That is day before. There is day 0 for press and trade visitors. And what I've heard from this year, I think there is also a special ticket that you can buy that's very expensive for like normal visitors to let you in on day 0 in the afternoon. So like after 2 or 3 o'clock or something like that, which gives you a chance to go visit some games that have no you know, huge lines or you know, stuff like that. But unless you have somebody on the inside to tell you, you know, which games are where and stuff, you're still gonna need to run around. They have made an app for Gamescom, so you can see where the stands are and where, you know, developers are or what is where, but it's still kind of iffy on its usability. It's good enough. Still, it took me a while to find some developers or find some games before I could, you know, interview them or, you know, just see where they are and see some devs and, you know, talk to some devs, which I really wanted to. I most of the time got my chance, but some interviews I had to miss because I couldn't really find it. It was so difficult. And when you're there, you think, oh, how hard it is to find. Trust me, some games, when they are in a collective booth, like currently what we're seeing is like a Spanish collective booth, so games developed in Spain or that kind of thing, that means it's, you know, either walled off inside or something along those lines where you can't really see what all games are inside, or maybe they're just showcased in a weird way in a strange corner and stuff like that. So it is sometimes hard to find some games, and I don't know if that's because of the booth design or difficulty of the app, which doesn't showcase what is. Sometimes it could be that it is the developer hasn't really marked their own, you know, logo anywhere. It's just that it is under a publisher or under like a country, and it's hard to find them like that. But you know, if you look, you know, spend enough time looking, maybe ask somebody there, you could probably figure it out. If not, you know, better like next year if they show up next year. In any case, this year's Gamescom was again huge. It was filled with games. Indies were, you know, bigger than ever. Finally, some major companies have returned to Gamescom or have started to show off their, you know, major big titles. And of course, even like smaller game companies were able to book some booths in, you know, big exhibition area to get showcased. Some of the best things that I've experienced this year is actually meeting somebody I would never think I would meet or possibly be able to, since, you know, the disbanding more or less of their YouTube channel and everything. But I met Jack Patillo from Rooster Teeth, Let's Play, you know, their whole Achievement Hunter gang, and I was so happy. I just by accident I was found in the business booth at a certain time, at a certain moment, to see that he is there, and then I also checked out his game, or like the game he is working with. I've also managed to meet, but rather quickly, mostly in passing, 2 guys from Viva La Dirt League, which were showcasing their own game and having their own kind of entertainment area presentation, or basically They were just doing skits and meeting fans, but I learned about that really late, so I couldn't go there. So it's been an amazing time. You can also see amazing cosplays here from all over, like people doing stuff that you could possibly believe, or in a way that it is amazing. Like I've seen Warhammer Space Marines, I've seen, you know, all manner of armored guys, women in all manner of cool and awesome costumes. It is just a thing to see, even if you're a cosplayer. And as I said, this Gamescom has broadened up the audience, so it's not just gamers. You have tons of cosplayers, and for cosplayers to do stuff. You have people who are interested in like series. Netflix has been coming, you know, for years in the past, and is still continuing to come and showcase like their shows or stuff that is connected to games. You of course have Farming Simulator, that's never left. That, you know, every possible year it's coming here. But you have now TCGs, a lot of representation for that, and it could grow into even more things that are related to games that can be showcased here and that should be showcased. Of course, you can see now giant booths for certain games or certain like publishers, like Level Infinite has taken up 1/4 of the one hall, and these are like giant halls that are just basically empty, and companies get to do whatever they want with the booth or like the square meters that they rent. Like here we have a castle basically. This was for Gothic? No, this was Crimson Desert. Gothic had similar things, but you know, booths can be very interesting to see and experience even. What else can I tell you about Gamescom? There are a few tickets. You can buy a normal daily ticket. You can buy a ticket that's in the afternoon, because some people come check games and, you know, go out, which are kind of cheaper. You can buy a trade visitor ticket if you are in some or any way related to gaming, or have like, a company or do anything related to gaming. So that's kind of like for you doing business. Yeah, with that you can go into, you know, the special 0 day. You can go into the business booth, or like not booth, business halls, which are 3 of them, and 2 of them are separated in 2 levels. Also hall 10, which is as big as this hall, is also split into levels, which means double the amount of fun. Yeah, there's even concerts or performances on exhibition area, like we see here for this is for Genshin, but you know, you will need to know the schedule of the booth to come to certain like events and presentations or actions. But just look at the amount of people, just look at the, you know, the huge numbers that are coming here each and every year. Saturday was sold out. Actually, they've actually added limits, so you need to worry about that. And there is like an additional press ticket for, of course, press. There is an additional one just opening night live ticket that you could get and, you know, experience that, which is basically Jeff Keighley presenting new games again, and so on and so forth. The things about this that you need to know is, if you want to go there, you should book your well, not housing, but you know, book where you're gonna stay, basically now or as early as possible. People already figured out that Gamescom is coming, and a lot of foreigners are coming, and they've raised prices for Airbnb and all of that. The other is to go to Dortmund. Yeah, I think Dortmund is the closest one. Or basically, like, the closest other city is Stockholm, and use the train, because the train just leaves at the, like, it stops at the convention hall, so you're not gonna be walking too far from it to either to get it to go back home or to get here. And yeah, there's a bunch of other tips and tricks that I usually share with people who I meet while traveling there, or who I meet while I'm there. Or the ones that are related to, you know, if you want to go to the business area and do some actual interviews, which I'm doing by just going there and asking if they have some free room. Usually they do. Sometimes with big companies or big titles, they don't. But yeah, you can see kind of a weird Borderlands booth, a lot more of, you know, just the experience and the air of it. Of course, if you noticed, I've turned off any sound because I don't want you to go deaf from like the just noise, but it's not that bad. It was never bad. And all of the people here are basically gamers, so everybody's really friendly, everybody's really, you know, talkative. If you ask a cosplayer to, you know, stop and you want to take a photo with them, they will do. There's a bunch of people who, you know, just want to go get their game or see their game, and, you know, that's it. Some people want to just walk there, share their cosplay. Some go to meet some famous YouTubers that come here. You see, you can just, you know, as long as you're polite, and pretty much everybody is, you won't have a problem here, neither like a bad experience. And that's one of the things that I like about Gamescom, because you can just go and you know which people you are with. You are with other gamers, basically just like yourself. And, you know, there's still free hugs, posts and everything else, but, you know, it's what you see, it's what you experience. It is a great time to be or to visit at least once, and hopefully it's gonna be one of the good ones, not one of the bad ones. But you know, all in all, it is something that should be, you know, shared and seen and showcased. I thought for a moment my stream was completely dying, completely dead, but no, it is fine. Yeah, we can see THQ Nordic, Gothic booth, and many others ones. I thought I wasn't gonna have enough to talk to about, but I'm kind of running out of the ideas about what to talk. You can just watch this. There is another thing I wanted to talk to, and that is what games I've visited and what games I've seen this year, especially in the business booth. But some I caught later on in the, you know, regular exhibition. So this is my, if you can see, barely because of the lighting, but this is just my schedule for the first 4 days, including the day 0. It is completely full, and I've been seeing so many games, but it is a good time. Like, it's not something that I find, you know, sucky or not interesting. It is something that I enjoy. This is basically my vacation, if you could put it like that. Even the years that I worked like a, you know, office job or whatever you would call it, just, you know, general IT or QA, I used my vacation days for this. I used it to go to Gamescom, to spend a week there, and probably spend a week to recover. Because it is a thing. It is a thing of running around all day, every day, doing things. Yeah, hopefully I can focus. The thing that I didn't talk. There's a bunch of mini games or like things that you can do in many booths across Gamescom. Previous years, or like the beginning years of Gamescom, they would usually just have a showcase and then toss like goodies into the crowd, whether it was t-shirts, pens, pins, whatever, or even like bigger stuff like keyboards and, you know, stuff like that. But over the years they've discovered or like worked towards a different thing. They are now currently mostly doing something I call like a scavenger hunt. You get to the main booth, get a bunch of tasks like, you know, go, wait in line for this game and that game, and get like a stamp that you did that, and you go, you know, like us on Instagrams and Facebooks and whatever else. You can see, you can play songs on there, but you know, then, you know, follow us on this and that, and scan that QR code and do this survey and stuff like that. Usually not, you know, everything that I mentioned here on one, but they mix and match what you need to do. And it's basically a thing that it ends up into like waiting more or less the whole day for that one booth to go through all the lines, so you can get all the stamps, and so you can get like a goodie at the end. At least the goodie is like kind of like secured, so you're like gonna get something, but it basically wastes half the day, or in worst case like all day, for you to stay in that booth and do stuff. So, but like if you're like a fan of Genshin, or this is like Mech Break or any other game specifically like that, you will do that because the goodies are worth it. Like you're gonna get something from either some characters you like, or maybe like a t-shirt. Oh, this was an amazing thing, you could like pilot. And I said, these are like specific experiences that you can get into games. The Indiana Jones booth had, oh, you need to dig up this statue and assemble it, and the fastest one gets like the collector's edition, like the fastest one of the day. Then you have like this where you can basically play Mecha Break in like a very specific controller and seat setup. And there are people waiting for that. There are people to check that out. Different booths had different kind of activities. Gothic one had, you had to like, I think, hit, the hammer on the podium and the bell rings. Like I think it was that, like test of strength. You had a archery. You can shoot arrows into a target to get like certain points and then redeem them for certain gifts at like a booth. And sometimes they ran out of, so you needed to get to the first few days to get the best items out of those booths. Sometimes they didn't. Like Borderlands 4, you will get the Borderlands mask. I actually got one. I'm gonna showcase all the loot in a few moments, but I'm gonna first go through all the games that I visited. And yeah, there's like catering, or basically you can buy snacks at very expensive prices. But you can still bring in snacks. Nobody's gonna stop you. There is like bag checking at the entrance, and I think you still need to have certain designs for weapons, or they will check your weapons if you have cosplays like that use weapons, not real weapons. Don't bring real weapons. But see, every game can have its own specific design, booth and all that. And yeah, it is a thing I would suggest every game to maybe come and experience once. And if specifically if they are like showcasing some game that they like if we all knew that Silksong was coming, Gamescom would be probably even more crowded than it was. But it was also hush hush until opening night live, which was ridiculous. Maybe it was actually smart, because otherwise I think all days would be sold off for Gamescom and it would be even more, a bigger crowd. But yeah, as you can see, this is like Netflix's booth. They showcased One Piece, Wednesday, and other things. There was actually a Lego store, which was surprising to me. I didn't believe it was, it's not an unbelievable thing. Like Genshin usually has its own store in the exhibition area, and some other games can have that. Like Nintendo, I think, had a store at some points as well. I wanted to zoom in on that you can make this devil fruit thing for One Piece. But yeah, it is actually surprising. I kind of wish I knew about this earlier, because I was spending the first 3 days basically locked up in the business area, because I would have probably came here and bought the Optimus Prime figure, but thankfully, because it was sold out, I didn't need to waste money on that. You can spend a lot of money, especially in the merchant area, which I have a few videos of that are coming up next, so you can see how that looks. There is, I'll talk about it when it gets there, but yeah, you could get Legos on Gamescom in the exhibition area, not even in the merchant area. As I said, there's a lot of activities. There was even like a ninja warrior kind of running thing. It wasn't exactly that. You could play, this was I think called Evo, where you get strapped up with a VR device. You have like a kind of VR gun in your hands, and you can, it's an empty area for us, but when you put on a VR, you can play like multiplayer shooters with other people all in that same arena, which is pretty cool. Like, it's basically just an empty space, but once you put a VR, you're somewhere else, like in some sci-fi environment, and you are shooting everybody else, and you can see them all like running around in that empty area, hopefully not hitting each other. But it is a thing that you can experience. It's like, oh, you can see, yeah, that thing is in the back there. I don't know if I recorded it for. And yeah, here there's also games like these. there's a lot of stuff that you can do, and usually a lot of these give you some kind of a reward. It's not like you're doing that for nothing, but you know, it is just like what you want to go and see and experience. And yeah, some booths are small, you have a few games, have a few stations. Some booths are huge, some booths are like this, related to a bunch of gaming devices and peripherals and whatever much things you can find there. And it's not usually, those were in Hall 10, but they've kind of like gotten out of there. This is supposed to be, I think, a competition area where different, you know, contests and tournaments were held. That's the tournament areas have been going bigger and smaller over the years. Like sometimes they would take like half the hall, and you would have just a big massive area where you just can sit and watch different competitions, different tournaments and all that. And then some years there was nothing, and then some years it was smaller. Like it feels like Gamescom doesn't know if it wants to have these kinds of competitions or not, or it depends of like each year if, you know, some organization wants to come and organize a tournament for Gamescom or not, and, you know, showcase itself and then somehow, you know, market everything. Oh yeah, you can see this is the actual that kind of a ninja warrior kind of thing, and there's a bunch of people, you know, playing, basically, you know, trying to finish this whole thing. And it's so cool to see that. I mean, we gamers are not just all, you know, fat slobs that sit and play video games all day and all night. No. Some people can actually run this course, and it's awesome to see. Yeah, this was also a Warcraft booth, huge one, and they've always done these kind of open booths, like not too many walls, and that's pretty cool actually from Blizzard each year. That way you could actually, even if you're waiting in line, or, you know, don't really want to wait in line but want to see some gameplay, you can see it kind of over the shoulder of somebody who is playing, basically. And I think more booths have started to do that, instead of just having a box, a closed-in box where you need to just wait for hours on end to get into, you know, maybe play a game for 15 minutes. Games you can play are sometimes like 15 minutes, sometimes 20, rarely 30 minutes. But now I've heard that some had demos that could run up to like an hour, or maybe even longer, which is weird but also kinda okay. Usually just 15 minutes to 20 minutes, and as I said, sometimes 30. Because publishers want as many people to go through the booth and see the games and all that. This is a merchant area, and what they've done this year, which is amazing, is they had a huge chunk of the merchant area was Artist Alley, which you can see more or less here. I tried to get through it as fast as you can, but this is just one line. There are like 2 lines full of Artist Alley, where different artists could actually sell their own stuff, whether it was t-shirts, scans, stickers, you know, posters, all manner of craftables. Like there was some amazing handcrafted things that you can actually get here, and it was one of the most crowded areas in the merchant area constantly, basically. But yeah, the merchant area also had official stores, like there was Lorcana, there was Mecha Break for some reason had an official store. There were I need to try and remember which other ones were there. Some companies had, like this one had like official merch, or that they've made for certain games. I got myself a Helldiver cape. Other ones have just are reselling just popular stuff, like, you know, Funko Pops, plushies, stuff like that. You can even get some cosplay stuff like wigs, like maybe those contact lenses and stuff like that. Yeah, the cosplay area wasn't just for cosplayers, just to hang out, and there were a bunch of them. You had a bunch of these stages from different things. Specifically this year was a lot of Fallout. But there is, like, as you see, Marvel, There's a bunch of like generic ones, all the ones that you could just, you know, go there, take photos, either professional or like yourself in your cosplay, and you know, just hang around. Other ones, there is of course like a cosplay repair area. There's a stage where many people performed over the, you know, the 5 days or 4 days this was happening. And you know, it is a great place. This hook was an amazing joke. You could just like and there's another guy that ran away with the hook, this guy there. So you could, you know, see a lot of things. You can experience, even if you just came here for cosplays. There were a bunch of Spider-Man, of course. I think they did, you know, the meme with the pointing at each other. And yeah, this was just a part of the merchant area. You just ended up from the merchant area into that area. As I said, I'm trying to remember still some official stores. Blizzard, of course, had an official store. There was Ubisoft didn't came this year, but over that's the thing that kind of doesn't repeat itself. I usually rarely see repeatable stores where they come for a few years and then kind of bounce off. There's massive amounts of figures you can buy here, and a bunch of other stuff, like even of course body pillows and stuff like that. So it is a thing that you know, you could spend a lot of the time here just deciding what to buy, or you could just spend a lot of time buying a lot of things and wasting all of your money. There's massive statues, as I said, there's tons of different t-shirts with different designs, plushies everywhere, and a thing that this area has decided to do over the years, but not as much this year as like the 2 years ago when I was here, and that's mystery boxes. You basically, you know, pay a certain amount of money and you're gonna get a number of different things inside, but I never trust those, because even if they are like for a specific series, you're not gonna get something amazing. I don't believe you're gonna get something that's actually worth that kind of money, or it is, but it's something that, you know, the shops cannot sell anymore, or cannot sell at all. So it's just like packing up in those bags. It's best to just go around and buy stuff. Prices are decent, maybe some a little bit higher, but it's gonna be a place that you might be, you know, the only place you might get some of these things. I even got a lightsaber for myself. You know, there's kind of that kind of thing there. You can buy, you know, some specific helmets for games, or as I said, some official merch from like official stores. Like even Kojima had his own store there a few years back. Final Fantasy had one as well. I've seen some shops or some presentations I didn't believe that it was gonna be here, but you know, it happens. As I said, there's Lorcana, there's Konami. I think they also sell some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Panini is there. Panini was there, I think, from the very beginning. And one of the first things that was on Gamescom as a shop, I think it was like a Panini shop that sold comics and stuff like that. In any case, I think we're done basically with all of the Gamescom experience, and let's get to the games. What games did I see this year? Let me see if they all have stuff on on Steam. Okay, so first one was Rogue Point, and it is a game by the developer who made Black Mesa. With that, it is a 4-player cooperative shooter. You would maybe think it's like Payday, but no, this is like you choose a mission, choose a loadout. It's more like kind of like Tarkov or stuff like that, but with 4-player gameplay, and no, it's only NPC enemies. There's no like other players. This is not PvE, this is just PvE. So that kind of a thing is pretty cool, and it's something that I would play. It's something that, you're done with extraction shooters, you're done with just dealing with other players, and you just want to play something that's, you know, actiony, shootery, but Payday is also kind of annoying and become worse and worse over the years. So this is more like a thing that you might find interesting. As I said, it's Crowbar Collective and Team 17. Let me see if I have some notes here. For some I managed to write some, for some I didn't, because I was playing the game and enjoying it. So there's gonna be in-game currencies which you get by playing, unlockable upgrades for all of your stuff. It's a roguelite, so you know, you die, you lose some stuff, you need to regain stuff again. It can be, you know, it's first person, it has kind of like a smart lean, so you're gonna be leaning a lot. It's very deadly when you play. I've seen developer play and die a lot, so it is very deadly. Different kind of enemies. So what did I wrote? It's gonna be 4 levels that are gonna be repeating, like so 4 maps, but there's gonna be 24 missions on each of them collectively. What did I say? Plus more or late. Oh, it's gonna be in early access, so it's starting in early access, and they're gonna add more maps and more missions later on. So that's gonna be for that. The next game is Call of the Elder Gods, and if you notice the image, and I need to wishlist this instantly. This is actually a sequel to the Call of the Sea, which I didn't know when I was going in. I was just told by people from Quali that, oh, this is the game we are showcasing. I was like, cool, it's Elder Gods, which means Lovecraft, which means something I like. So let's try it out. And when I started talking to developers, I was so amazed and I was so happy to meet them, because they confirmed that it's a sequel. You can choose at the beginning of the game how the previous one ended, like which of the 2 endings you chose, and that's gonna have a little bit of impact on the game. This one is gonna have multiple characters. So we're gonna have 2 characters. One of them is the husband of the main character of the first game, Professor Everhart, and the other one is I need to find, maybe this is Evangeline Drayton, I am unsure, but there's gonna be new puzzles, new interactables, and even though the first game was tied to Lovecraft by like later part of the story, they've decided to tie this into Lovecraftian horrors from the very beginning. So we're gonna be having Miskatonic University mentioned, and you know, Arkham and stuff like that. So it's definitely gonna be that kind of game, and I wishlist this, and I can't wait for this game to come out, because I love the first game, and I will play the first game for the stream at some point. Yeah, switching characters. As I said, characters you're gonna go a little bit. You're gonna play with the female character and a little bit the male character, depending on the situation that is happening. Next one is gonna be around. Yeah, I can type 0. Round 0, and this one is a. Let me remember. Oh yeah. This was actually great. I didn't read. They didn't put in too many notes, but this one is again by Quali. I like to take what we can test out so many of these games, and I'm gonna wishlist this instantly. Actually, there's no demo for now. Ground Zero is basically your Resident Evil 2 type of game. They even kept the, you know, the shitty, or not the shitty, but you know, old retro graphics. The fun thing is you will be playing with 2 characters, again kind of switching when the game asks you to switch. One is the South Korean, that's the Czech agent, and the other one is, I think, a Canadian male character. They told me something about the voice actor, and I kind of forgot. I think it's the voice actor is, I think, Barry from the Resident Evil 2, or something like that. I might be mistaken. I sadly didn't write that down. But The game is great, and it has a kind of a mechanic like old Resident Evil 3 had, where you could, at certain points, you can choose where you want to go. Like if you're gonna go, I don't know, towards the hospital, or do you want to go to the park. This game has the same thing, but you won't be visiting the other area. Like if you go one area, you won't be visiting the other one. And it's not like A and B with, you know, one character is going to one area, the other one is going to another one. You're gonna be playing path A and path B, like in Resident Evil 2. No. This is like a Resident Evil 3. You pick a path, you go there. You're not gonna be coming back to the other one. So that means that if you want, you can pick just, you know, go left, to say the least, the whole game, and then go right for the second playthrough. Which, as I said, it allows you to have that kind of like dual playthrough kind of thing. There is gonna be a Mr. X, but when the developer told me the Mr. X is gonna be in only a certain area, I think it was the hospital, and nowhere else. So if you don't want to meet him or deal with him, you just avoid the hospital and go somewhere else. But yeah, the game has interesting enemies, interesting combat. There is gonna be a mechanic of you can shoot the enemies and destroy them basically, or you can try and you know, stun them and then execute them to get to, so you don't destroy the body, but you get more like a special DNA they can use as a resource later on, or like for certain things, so you can, you know, maybe even get like the best enemies and stuff like that. So it is a challenging game. It's not just you running gun and shoot. They've added some new mechanics to the mix, and I believe this is gonna be an amazing game when it comes out, and I can't actually wait to play it like any other, you know, Resident Evil that I like to play. Next, we have. I don't think we typed this. Wrote this right. Cromlech. Yeah, Cromlech. This was. Yeah, I think it had a booking for this. I didn't just like run up and try it. This is an action roguelite that is on the 30-day cycle, but it is a weird kind of a situation. So most of this game is not like Skyrim, but almost like Skyrim, except you know, when you go around, when you explore and do stuff, you're gonna waste time. But the biggest waste of time is gonna be like if you go to rest, like after days of adventuring, quote unquote, after, you know, fighting for a while and all that, if you go to rest, like recover your health, you will go to sleep, of course, and the next day will tick off, and then the next day, or like if you die, it will skip to the next day, and then you need to, you know, you have less time to complete this massive quest, or like to save this world and all that. And as you can see, the combat is very directional, depending on like where you swing. If you attack from above, from the side, and all that, you will be hitting an enemy in a different area, and if it has armor in that area, you can do less damage. But if it doesn't, or like you break through it, you can still hit that area and kill him. It has some sort of a Souls-like combat. It has some meta progression, so you're not gonna be just wasting everything and needing to redo everything from the beginning. There are random crisis events, basically random quests that if you complete, you can kind of like not make your game easier, but make your this current run you know, not as difficult as it would be if you leave the crisis to like develop and progress and level up and get even tougher and tougher. So what the experience I got from this is like, if this is like for people who replayed Skyrim constantly and were trying to give themselves a kind of a not difficulty curve, but a challenge. This is gonna be that, because you're gonna be replaying this after the 30-day cycle in game. You will have difficult opponents, you will have random these crises, which are kind of level gated, so you're not gonna get the biggest crisis when you're just starting off, so they're kind of balancing that out. It is developed and published. Publisher is Parent Creative, It's supposed to come out next year. But it is kind of low magic. The only kind of powers you will get are some kind of shouts, almost. Again, Skyrim almost. But not that combative, mostly like buffing yourself and like getting stronger or resilient and stuff like that. It is an interesting idea that I'm not fully behind, because I don't really like roguelites in general, even though they're just everywhere now. But it is still an interesting idea that could be cool for some people who like a challenge in their RPG and want to have this kind of a pressure of if you die, you lose progress. It can get difficult. You can fail. You can all manner of things can happen. Let's go to the next one. BPM, but not bullets per minute. It's BPM Bit Crush. And if you think that is this the same game? Is this the same sequel or all that? It is from the same developers, but it's a different completely style. It is a isometric top-down shooter, bullet hell, massive thing, but it still runs with the rhythm. It's still, you shoot, as it says, shoot, jump, slice, do everything in the rhythm. It is still a little bit based by Nordic mythology, but you have, different things you can, discover. It is, again, roguelite, a lot of randomness. There's meta progressions and level ups. So whenever you die, you still keep levels on the character that, played. You can get some bonuses and buffs for that. There's multiple characters that you unlock as you play, and each of them has a different playstyle, and you can add custom music. The only thing you need to do is know its BPM, basically, not bullets per minute, but beats per minute. So you can add whatever song you like. You just find. Now I've gotten a suggestion to just find the BPM of the songs that I like online and then add them, because I want to add stuff like that into another game, which is Dead as Disco. But as I said, that's cool that you can add your own songs, because even though their music is awesome, if you're gonna be playing this for hours on end, it could be a little bit boring, or simply you have better, stronger, sounding music that you wanted to add as well. Next one that I did is a big showcase, which I don't know if it's gonna have anything on Steam, but we will try to find it. Nope. Okay, next showcase was from NC Soft. They've actually had a big presence this year, and I'm surprised that they actually brought this many games. But what I had was Cinder City, which is an MMO shooter. It has narrative and open world. It is third person, and characters. There's characters and vehicles. What I think this is basically anime Battlefield, more or less. This is by Big Fire Games. Next one was Time Takers, which is an FPS hero shooter and battle royale. Also third person, and also anime. You will see a running gag about this. And the thing about that, it is each of your characters, or like each character has a time, a minute to be alive, basically. And if you kill other people, you're gonna take their time and add them to yourself. Or if another player in your team is running out of his time, he's been killed, his time has been stolen, you give your time to him. I said minute as an example, but I think everybody has 5 minutes, or a decent chunk of time. And that's kind of the big addition to the gameplay loop of this just hero battle royale shooters. You are not gonna be camping for the whole match. You would need to be actively going out, running, killing guys, so you can add their time to yourself, so you can stay to the end of the battle royale sequence. So it's not gonna be like in PUBG when you land in the middle of the circle and just camp there, or you land in an area that you think it's gonna be the circle where it's going, and just camp there for the rest of the game, and then pop up at the end, shoot the guy, and win. No. You will definitely need to be actively going around shooting, killing, and collecting, you know, your time and giving it to your team, basically, if they need. There was also Limit Zero Breakers, another anime game, and a very Genshin-like game. There's gonna be, of course, pre-made characters. It's going for PC and phone. Let me see if there is anything of this on Steam. Just to check. Oh no, there is. Time Takers is here. So let me show this to you. Nope, wrong button. This. Oh yeah, and the Time Takers is gonna be characters from all. That's the thing that I forgot. Characters from all sorts of timelines that, you know, died at a certain moment and then were transported to somewhere in the universe to fight for, I don't know, maybe freedom or more time. And yeah, even though there's a knight guy and a samurai guy, he's gonna get like this kind of an upgrade to him, and he's gonna, of course, he's gonna be a banana tossing monkey. But you know, he's gonna get this kind of an upgrade for his shield and sword, so he can actually fight in this futuristic setting. I don't know how this is gonna work. Sorry, this wasn't anime. The other one was anime, but still, this almost looks like Concord, and I don't want to say that, but I don't know. Maybe it will have better looking characters or sexier characters, so it's still gonna survive. Let's see what we have next. It is Limit Zero Breakers. Another free game. A lot of free games. As I said, this is, I think, the most, you know, Genshin-like game they've showcased. Can maybe, you know, show you some screenshots. I don't see anything original here, sadly. So I don't know if this is gonna survive. It's, you know, we already have Genshin, we already have Honkai, we already have Xeno's of Zero, we already have Wuthering Waves, we already have so many other games that are similar in production that it is hard for me to believe that this is gonna survive unless it has like amazing character cast. But seeing that it is already like a character that looks very okay, the trailer was something I didn't see there. But you know, looks like they could be kind of annoying, and you know, this one, and very chirpy. It depends on how it's gonna stay, if it's gonna be too popular. But it's still in development, it's coming soon, we will see how it goes. Next one, we have, let's see if it's in Blade and Soul Heroes. No, not Blada, Jesus. Heroes, yeah, there it is. And I have no idea what to think about this. It goes into open world. It's gonna be, you know, action combat and turn-based, and it's just, I don't know. Maybe this is for Blade and Soul people, and they're gonna have more fun in it. But what I've seen hasn't really impressed me, and it feels again like some kind of a Genshin Honkai combo, and not something I can believe it's gonna survive long. The problem with NCSoft is they have very good IPs and very cool stuff, but they end up just, I don't know, too late to the party. The biggest thing they've actually showcased this year is there? No, it's not represented. But the biggest thing they've showcased this year is actually Aeon 2. So Aeon is returning, which of course it's gonna have, you can customize your character. There's gonna be the original 8 classes. There's gonna be traveling everywhere by sea or sky. So you know, it's not just gonna be on the ground. What to say? It's gonna be 36 times bigger. And what they've decided to do, which is a difference from the first game and from many other games, I'm just going to show this Aeon so you can see what it's all about. So, in the first game you had kind of the light and the dark side on each server, and I think they've seen what Guild Wars has done, where basically Guild Wars 2 was there was server versus server combat, like, and that's not just 3 servers were fighting on like one singular map. So the developers for Aeon 2 are not only gonna be doing stuff they couldn't previously because of, you know, technical limitations, which means we're gonna get an even wilder game than before. They're gonna be doing 1 faction per server. So you need to join a server that has your faction that you like or that you want to play with and stuff like that. And then you will be fighting the other faction from another server. So it's basically gonna be server versus server, which is, I think, a great idea and a great thing. Maybe it's not gonna be as interesting as Aeon 1, or maybe it's not gonna be fun for everybody when they're like gonna be safe in their own world and their own server and not gonna be attacked. Probably there's gonna be some kind of PvP, I don't know, but I find this to my liking. So I can choose a faction that I like the most, whether visually or story-wise, and then I can play with it. And if I really want to do PvP, I can do, but I'm not gonna, so I'm just gonna, you know, enjoy the game as it is. The last one, let me check if it is here. It's Band of Crusaders. Yes, it is. Okay. Band of Crusaders has given me an impression that this is somewhat like, what was it? War Tales? Yeah, it's like War Tales, but with kind of a fix on a little bit of Lovecraftian horror, or basically just demons, very, very ugly looking demons who are trying to invade like the medieval or like the Crusader times, and you are trying to fight against them to repel this invasion. It is a strategy game. It you know, it has of course characters that can perma-die and that you can, you know, lose along the way, and, you know, recruit new ones and gear them up and stuff like that. I think it's gonna be very open. Again, a lot of this reminds me a lot of War Tales, but just with a different kind of coat of paint. There is gonna be some magic, if I remember well. I'm not sure. It's not gonna be just, you know, swords and boards, but especially because, you know, crusade and demons and stuff like that. But I think the best thing that is gonna, you know, pull it out of the comparison with War Tales is its setting. Not just the Crusader times, but like this demonic invasion thing, which is gonna be very weird, and demons are very interestingly drawn. So yeah, some of the games that I had to show to see through here just gave me a full like showcase of different titles. Next one is Do It. Did I do it? Night Abyss. Or Night Abyss. I think it's Night Abyss. I would say that's another Genshin-like, and one that is just it's again well, yeah, the only thing it has for itself is you have guns. So I tried the game, I played it a little bit. It's, you know, maybe closer a little bit to Wuthering Waves with its design and look and feel. I think it feels like it's gonna be telling a little bit more of a serious story, but yeah, it's very story driven. As I said, there's a vote here in my notes, but it's gonna be not too. It's still gonna be like Wuthering Waves. The only good thing about this that I heard from the developers and that I saw in game is, even though you're gonna have different characters, which are gonna be gacha characters and all that, and their abilities and stuff like that, the weapons are not gonna be locked to characters. So it's not gonna be like previous gacha games where, you know, this guy is just a sword user, this guy is just a, you know, lance user, this guy is just a bow user. No. Weapons are not gonna be locked to the characters, and even like classes, you can change out for which character you choose. So I'm guessing it's gonna be more open to players to customize the characters that they get, and there's gonna be some kind of, like, some characters are better in certain classes, of course, but you can still change them and play whichever, you know, weapon combo class you want to do for certain characters if you don't like their original ones. and that, you know, it has a feeling of like anime Warframe, because, you know, in Warframe you had the frames that you can, you know, they had specific powers, but you can change all the other weapons. They're more or less more stats you can change and stuff like that. So it has that kind of a feeling that it's gonna be. Okay, this was Directive 8020. I didn't even write this name properly, which is funny. Why am I still doing this? Yes. Directive 8020 is another one of the supermassive games, which are, you know, well known by the horror games that you get to play. And this one is of a kind of alien thing, I would say, because there is a ship going through a different galaxy. There's a whole colony ship behind you, but you are kind of like the exploration vessel that's going in first. Something hits your ship, like an alien asteroid that starts, you know, taking over the ship, basically, as you see here in the trailer. And I think it turns into like a not just alien, but it turns into like the Thing scenario, more or less. And it's a Dark Pictures game, but I don't think it falls into the anthology that they've previously done, because they're going so sci-fi with this, basically. And I played it. It has a little bit more interaction, a little bit more, you know, actually, you know, gameplay, not just watching a movie and, you know, making choices. And I've talked to developers about that, and they've confirmed that this is going to have a lot more gameplay and, you know, just exploring, doing puzzles, fixing stuff, and doing things. I didn't have time to finish the demo, but the demo was basically the beginning of the game, and as I said, showcased certain not abilities, but certain features in the game. The biggest one being actually the ability for you to rewind. So if you made like a big ass mistake and you played through a certain area and, you know, somebody ended up dying that you didn't want to, you can kind of rewind to the previous section or at the previous point and redo it, which is actually really cool for me, because like I can make dumbass mistakes, and I would like to not, you know, sometimes. What I feel it's like gonna be like, you know, you have that branching tree, and you know, if you fuck something up, you could go back to a certain point in the tree to try different things and change stuff. So it is an interesting, you know, feature that would actually get me to play this probably more than some other games, where after you make a mistake you're fucked. You need to like replay the whole game before you get another thing, or hopefully if you have a basically a save point. So this is definitely something that's gonna be on my wish list and I'm gonna try when it comes out. Next one is actually Guild Wars 2 actually had a for the Visions of Eternity expansion. They had a showcase. After many years, they actually have a showcase. And Guild Wars 2's first gameplay presentation on the very first Gamescom was the thing that got me to go to Gamescom. Nothing else. So, I managed to talk to some of the developers. They are basically here showcasing the new Elite specializations and the insane amount of customization you can do with your homestead, or like with your own, you know, home place, and the new island homestead that they showcased. So it is borderline insane what you can do with that. You can build so many things. You can customize it, move it about. Like even later on, seeing what World of Warcraft does and how they're doing their homestead, Guild Wars 2 has them beat out of the water. Not just because of the ability to move and position items, which also World of Warcraft has, but because you get like a whole open area. Like you're not getting just a house or like a set of rooms that you can set up. No, you're getting a whole island. You're getting a whole zone that you can customize with as many items as possible. The only detriment to that is probably the new players are gonna be screwed out of it, or even returning players who haven't played many expansions or many years, like for the 10 years that the game has been out, is because everything is gonna cost materials. So if you want to have tons and tons of like doors and floors and walls and whatever, building your massive house, you might not have enough materials, but you can go buy them, exchange some of them. So there is kind of a bit of a workaround, but I think you will still need to grind a lot to get the dream house that you want. The good thing is when you get the new homestead or like the new place, it is crowded with materials, or like crowded with preset buildings. Like at some point you could have seen maybe a beached ship, like literally into the ground. You can disassemble all of it and change everything's position and just set it up as you want. So that's kind of an amazing thing. So yeah, it brings a lot of mechanics related to that. Like this beach ship, you can get some materials in some areas. There's some things that you can just adjust to your life. Next one that I checked is Rust Rail, which is again a game I have on my wish list, and I've checked it out and I've seen the actual gameplay of it. And sadly, it is the thing that I thought it would be. It's very limited. It's very small in its scope and idea. It is basically frozen tundra, walking around, collecting shit, and there is just ice zombies and maybe a few other creatures there. I feel like this needs a certain feeling, a certain uniqueness for it to be interesting. Like the weapons aren't that great, but I talked to the developer. They said they're gonna be upgrading it, they're gonna be fixing it, they're gonna be adjusting a little bit. This reminds me more of that Cthulhu Rail thing, like with the heart of the train and all that. But if they leaned more into the supernatural with everything in design and all of that, it could be a little bit better. For now, it feels more like Metro 2033, only with you're just driving around and building out your locomotive and train. So maybe it will be funnier with friends, but alone I think it could get pretty boring pretty fast. As I said, every one of these survival games is much better with friends, of course. And there is a thing where you're not kind of going to the center of something or like going north, which the developer told me, but it still feels like it's missing something that's gonna bring in a lot of people to play it, and not just have this brutalistic frozen Soviet kind of feel. Next one is something that I actually played here on this channel. That's Mio Memories in Orbit. It's still difficult, it's still hard as balls, it still has insanely difficult bosses, and I played a new kind of a demo, new presentation, which is still hard as balls. I couldn't beat it. This game is gonna be definitely something really challenging to play unless you go around and level up and collect stuff before you get to do things. I've seen some new mechanics, like you can kind of climb on walls, spider-like and all that, and it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a thing, and I can't wait for it to come out because it looks so good. It is decently difficult, but it is beatable. And if you want to see how this game actually runs, go check out my Mio Memories in Orbit demo alley. You will see all that you need. Another one that I really recently played is I Hate This Place. And once again, there was a special Gamescom demo that I played and I actually beat. It wasn't too difficult, but it was very fun to do, with a new area, a new set of enemies which are completely different from the previous ones, which means there's gonna be a lot more for you to like explore and find, and different kind of enemies to beat and get challenged. There's gonna be, of course, the thing we didn't see, which is like a hub base, and from the hub you're gonna be going into dungeons. It is definitely inspired by the comic that I saw, and again, it's stealth and combat. You don't really need to kill everybody. You can, sneak around all the places. But if you need to, you're gonna get shotgun and do all that. The developers told me that the progression we saw in the demo and they saw in the new demo for Gamescom was kind of sped up, so you would get a bunch of things to try out before you proceed. But when you play the game proper, it's gonna go slower. You're not gonna get as many cool items or cool weapons at the beginning, so it's gonna be more difficult. But still, I can't wait for this game. It's gonna be a cool Resident Evil kind of like game, and the stealth mechanics and options are great. Like I really enjoyed it. I talked to them about the food meter and how pointless it is, but we will see if they do anything about that. I have also had a chance to play Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl on a PS5 controller, or like a PS5, like the PS5 version. I still can't play shooters on a controller. It's just my aim is absolutely fucking shit. But the game ran well, no issues, no bugs. I didn't crash it like I did some other games by just sitting there and playing. I know it's my superpower for finding some bugs. So, if you waited to play this on a console, you now have a chance. Sorry, I need to drink. It's just water. Next one. I should probably get through these pretty quickly. I'm already talking a lot. This is of Ash and Steel. It's an RPG developed by a 5-dev team. It is inspired by Gothic. Absolutely fully inspired by Gothic. I played this demo and it's brutal. Like, if you go left, you're gonna get killed by everything. If you go right, you're gonna be able to, kill some things and actually survive. So it's very Gothic. It's very Risen even, like, because you're kind of stuck on an island. I think Gothic is as well, or like Prison, something like that. But yeah, if you like those kinds of games, those kinds of brutal games, you will enjoy this. There are 2 factions, from what the developer told me, that you can join at a certain point, and that's gonna direct the rest of your game. It's developed by Fire and Frost and published by Tiny Build. It's still to be announced, it's still in development. There's gonna be a lot of crafting, there's gonna be a lot of mini games, there's gonna be just random enemies all over the place, so it feels like it's gonna be a very interesting game to play, and you're gonna be, sticking a lot of hours into that as you progress, as you level up, as you, improve everything. Here, I didn't even see all of this crafting that is here in this trailer. But yeah, if you end up not liking Gothic, or New Gothic is too modernized, you will be able to play this. There's a lot of jank that you will remember from old these kinds of old RPGs. The combat showcased here is not as brilliant as this. It's very, very not bad, but very jank. The animations are very simplistic, and yeah, the bugs and monsters that I killed, or the enemies I fought, it was very just swinging, hoping to hit, hoping they don't hit. They're moving really weirdly. There's still a lot of work for this game. There's a lot of work still to be done to make it more fluid. But for now, it's just it's a cool thing. Maybe you can join a playtest or something and try it out at some point. Well, now the next one is Senance Black Manor. They didn't have a new demo on Gamescom, but they still managed to talk to developers a bit about the game and about the time management and all that. And they've said that there's gonna be something like a new game plus. So basically, once you finish the game one way, there is a hard chance you will be able to complete all mysteries and everything in one playthrough. Almost impossible, as they say. You really need to know what to do. But on the New Game Plus, you can kind of skip through certain areas, you can skip through the tutorial zone, okay, skip through certain areas to get to the areas you want to, where you will like change what you want to do, and then continue on and do different things, because every task, every interaction is gonna take time, and you'll need a certain amount of time, a certain amount of things to do to like kind of complete the game. You can still kind of save scum. So if you went to a certain area, you found that it's not good or not useful to you, you can maybe like load back to the previous one and go to the other thing. You can still fail the game if you don't complete, or like there's supernatural things eat your face and stuff like that. So it is a interesting game that you can basically play the different kinds of way you want. It's very time management game, and after you kind of finish once, you will have that kind of a new game plus, and you can know who's the villain is, and maybe focus on like finding all the clues to ousting them out. Next one is the Lonesome Guild. Yeah, the Lonesome Guild. The biggest idea from the developers about this game is showcasing and talking and not examining, basically presenting difficult, sad stories through cutesy, cute, nice looking characters. A lot of this is gonna be related to loneliness, to loss, to difficult topics like that, but everything is gonna be showcased through this colorful, nice world. You're gonna cry and you're gonna enjoy it with this beautiful display. Basically, what the idea with the game is, you're gonna have multiple characters, but you're gonna be bringing 3 of them with you, plus the ghost. Ghost is the 4th one, and you are technically the ghost, and you can, when combat starts, take over one character, boost them up, control them, fight with them, and then if you need to, you can switch to other characters, or boost them, or have combo attacks, combo moves, special attacks and all that, all for the sake of combat. And whenever you go into a different character, you're gonna get different skills, basically using their skills to attack and battle and all that. It is a decent action, kind of like hack and slasher, but as I said, they're kind of trying to tell these difficult and sad stories through these cute and nice and fun looking characters, and that's kind of their general idea, what they're gonna be doing. Strong emotional stories, not just sad stories, and yeah, cute graphics for hard truths. That's actually their line, if I wrote it right. Cute graphics for hard truths, which is gonna be a cool thing to see. Next one is one of the most amazing things that I saw here is the Blood of Dawnwalker, a new really big game by Rebel Wolves and Bandai Entertainment, which wants to do a lot of vampire and even like Witcher 3 stuff, and I think they're on the good path to do that. It is something like what we talked about in the, what was the name of the game? God damn it, brain. Blah 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 blah. Where did I wrote it? The Cromlich game. You have a 30-day main quest, and time is gonna progress once you do certain things in a quest line. So you can spend 10 hours in game time, or like 10 hours real life time playing stuff, doing stuff, but certain quests which have a icon on them and like showcase how many time slots they're gonna use up, or certain actions for certain quests gonna use up. That's the thing that's gonna progress the time, and they're gonna be doing a thing where if you address the quest during daytime, it's gonna be, you're gonna have to resolve it in a certain way, and if you address the same quest during nighttime, it's gonna be resolved differently. Like during nighttime, you have your vampire powers, and you can teleport, strike people, bleed them dry, whatever, do kind of vampiric and things, and have those kinds of powers. But during daytime, you're basically a wizard, So you're gonna have either access to some magic or to some crafting, and of course to certain other people during daytime to complete basically the same quest, or basically to get to the you are basically starting either at night or day, depending on, you know, when you got the quest and all that, and you are ending at the same location, but, you know, through different paths, differently going there. And sometimes you might have like enemies, like for this quest that they were showcasing us, you had an enemy that was more difficult to fight if you went towards it at night than if you went towards it at day. But, you know, you might not know, you might progress the days faster or slower and stuff like that. I have no idea if this is anything you know, I shouldn't talk about, but they've showcased it to us. There was a lot of press, and they only told us not to be cool. But but the gameplay they've showed us was, you know, they showed a lot of gameplay, and you can really get into this town and, you know, talk to different NPCs, solve quests, and quests are not solved by just running through a location. You need to think about them, you need to puzzle out, you need to, you know, figure out how to access some points, and there's different ways to do that. It's a great game, and it can be amazing if like all of the quests are as good as that. There is of course Witcher music during combat. I had to write that down. It's a lot of exploration and investigation. It's not that much into fighting. Their time passes as you do quests. Directional. Yeah, there's directional combat. So like if you're swinging sword left, right, you can parry as well. So the combat is actually pretty cool. Camera adjustment mode, whatever, multiple ways to complete quests and all that. Like, you should be looking forward to this quest, and I don't know why I didn't wishlist it, but you should be looking forward to this game if they manage to do everything as they should. Like, this is like that thing, like the time progression through slots. But as I said, every quest that you do is gonna tell you how many slots it's gonna waste, and you have 30 days to complete the main quest. Let's see, what is this? Diamond Blades is the other one I got to experience, and if I remember correctly, it is an online co-op for up to 4 players. Oh yeah, it is doable by... I now remember that I played this. This was actually pretty cool. This is almost like Doom Eternal, but just with, you know, swords and all that. Like, no... basically... or like Vermintide, I would say. But you can play it in solo as well. The combat is very brutal, as you can see. You can do a lot of things. You can block, you can slash, you can cut these people, you know, demons up. It's very visceral, and you can feel like you're cutting through enemies pretty coolly, but you don't feel damage on yourself. And I talked to the developers about them, and they've noticed that. There's a lot of people have commented about that. You don't feel when you take damage. You just, you know, notice suddenly that your health is very low, and they are gonna adjust that. There's cool movement, cool jumping, slashing, all that. It's roguelite, so you're basically going into a run, and you need to complete it, and then go to a deeper level, and deeper level you're gonna have bosses, of course. There is a little bit of a meta progression, like you're gonna unlock stuff for characters. Characters are basically just a look, and their weapons are the things that, you know, decide the gameplay. Yeah, the weapons change basically in gameplay and how you're gonna fight. And, you know, there's gonna be a good enough meta progression, because each time you die or each time you play through, you're gonna, you know, update your character's class, you know, points, and go into the thing that you want. Next one that I played is actually a Star Trek game, and it is it here? Yeah, Infection. Star Trek Infection, which it's a VR game, and I played it fully in VR. It's basically a great idea for a game, but it's so poorly done that I don't know if people are gonna like it. Not as in terms of like it's not working. It's working fine, and as I said, the idea is great. Like this Star Trek ship gets taken over by some alien entity, again similar to some previous games that, you know, we talked about. And you're gonna have access to your tricorder. You're gonna have your access to your phaser and stuff like that. You're gonna do these mini games and science games and stuff. You're gonna pinch enemies to knock them out. You're gonna run away a little bit from them. It has all of it, but it's because of the restrictions of stuff like the quest, and yeah, you're gonna get mutated and get abilities. But it's because of the restriction of the devices that it's going on, like certain quest and all that, it's not gonna be very immersive. It's gonna break your immersion often by either you going through stuff, not being able to pick up some things, not be able to interact with just simple screens on the ship. Some you are, of course, some major ones that you need to do, you are gonna do it. And like even the graphics are very, very poor, even for a VR game. I think it could have been done a little bit better, maybe with better shading, if nothing else. But I believe played the perfect version of the demo that they could in Gamescom, not some random shit. So it is a great idea. It is a great basis, and it is something that I would actually play. I'm gonna wish list. I would love to have this and play around. But if you see a streamer play this, you might actually have a lot of fun with them if they goof around. Goofing around is absolutely possible. I just hope there's not gonna be scenes where I need to run away from these zombies, because the movement is kind of weird. But it's a Star Trek game, and this is the closest thing we can get to being actually in Star Trek, and I wouldn't mind. It looks like it'd be cool, but it's a lot of jank. I experienced a lot of jank. Next one is actually the game Last Caretaker. I didn't actually wishlist this. I should have. I thought I wishlisted this. This is developed by Channel 37, or the team where Jack Patello is doing. He's a community manager, but yeah, he is also playing that on his channel. If you want to watch it, you can check it out on his channel. He's playing it often, more versions of it. And he's probably one of the best people to actually be the one to caretake about this game, because he's played so many of these survivals crafters that he knows what quality of life people want. As you can see, there's a lot of interaction with cables and stuff like that. That's because you don't have food and water in this game. You have power, and of course the durability of your frame that you pilot, which is this caretaker. You are on Earth. You're trying to see what has happened to humans, and you're kind of like their caretaker, because humans kind of grow here and then are sent to space, and you see what's happening with growing humans. You're gonna have a ship that's that. The world is gonna be pre-made, so you can just go to the end if you want, if you know where it is, or go to certain locations, and you're gonna be going to these platforms, collecting a bunch of stuff, collecting materials, story, and of course you're gonna be fighting enemies like crabs and mutated things and all that. It is a very cool game. I played it a little bit. I even have some reels of it, and it is something that I might enjoy. Even weapons that you use are can be powered or overpowered by your own power core, so you need to watch out how much energy you spend. And after a certain point, you can automate some stuff on your ship and have energy and recover and all that. And it is one of the things that is strange about this. It is a fully single player game. Online cooperative might come later on, but yeah, this would be so cool in cooperation. Well, what else? It is story driven, survival open world. It's an early access. It's 9 developer team. There's gonna be lots of lore, they wrote so much lore for just companies in the game that are responsible for certain things. They gave me a lot of good lore, a lot of good 3D printed stuff. They've given me a proper scarf, but they've also given me a crowbar and all that. I'll showcase some of that after all this. And yeah, it's gonna be an ocean world. It's gonna be, you can go in under the ocean as well, not just on top. Survival, there's gonna be enemies, storm, environment, all that, and you know, maybe on cooperative. Next one I actually had a cool interview with is Dune Awakening, actually, and they basically sold me on the game while in the in the interview. I didn't really think I was gonna play it or care about it, but they kind of sold me on it. So this was just an interview about the new, not expansion, but the new story content, new story chapter that's coming out, and all of the things with that. I'm pretty satisfied with what the game has, and the fact that I can just play story and enjoy that, and then come back every 3 months for new story. That's what they're planning to do. Like, new story content is gonna be coming out every 3 months, which is amazing and a big challenge. There's gonna be, of course, some raid content, new story, and like there's gonna be a difference of what like the free players get and what paid players get. But like, paid players are mostly just getting extra skins and stuff, while the free players are basically the ones who are not buying the expansion get the general everything else that they want, or everything else that comes with the expansion. I played also something that I wanted to play, but I didn't know if I could, and that is Hell Is Us. I've talked a lot with the developer, and they are sticking to their points of like having no markers or compass or map for the game. You're gonna be figuring out everything on your own. The game looks beautiful, the combat is decent. There's not gonna be too much customization for the main character, which I kinda don't like, but at least you're gonna be able to find some ponchos and caps to change your design, basically. But all in all, it's a very interesting game that challenges you to remember certain things or certain stuff that just a normal NPC has said, and just complete certain quests. Like, you wouldn't think that an NPC has given you a quest, but if you like collect a certain item and get certain stuff, you will be able to kind of complete a quest and get more gear, or at least help them survive. So that's kind of a cool thing. Something that I would play, yes, if possibly I can run it. There is a demo. I can try it out, and I can maybe see if my PC can run it. Hopefully, maybe if it, at least in like low graphics, it will be able to run. Next one was Edge of Memories, which again is a sequel to the game that I didn't think is a sequel. This was a sequel to Edge of Eternity, actually. So like, Edge of Eternity, which I have the game, I have played a little bit. Like, it's early access version, but is now complete. Now has a sequel, which is gonna be they're completely abandoning the old combat style, and like even multiple characters. I believe we're gonna have just the 3 characters that we've seen here. One is from the first game, and the other 2 are new ones. And this time they've completely changed from turn-based tactical one to pure action. Like, you're gonna be pure action, hack and slashing with just the main character. The other characters are gonna be there for you to call upon their powers or like combos, but you're gonna be just playing the main female character and fighting whichever monsters show up. The demo is still rough, and it has massive frame rate drops on certain enemies, but they've assured me that they're working on it, they're gonna be fixing it, and they're gonna be by the time it comes out in 2026, it's gonna be fully ready. And I actually enjoyed the combat and enjoyed the change, and I think they're even more focusing on story, and it is gonna be in the same universe where Edge of Eternity was, just happening like a few months, I think, or maybe like a few years after the end of the first game. Next one is here. I'm already getting. Why is this not cooperating? Asuka. And again, an interesting take on an already made thing. So this isn't your regular Valheim. This is Valheim, where you have your own village and your own NPCs, which you can, collect from a certain point in the center of your village, and then give them tasks to do and work on stuff. The most amazing thing about this is the AI of the villagers is very good, so they're not gonna get stuck on certain things. They're gonna be, and they're gonna be working really well to, collect stuff, craft, defend the village when it needs to be, and all sorts of that kind of stuff. The special thing I was showcased on Gamescom this year was actually that they're gonna be adding soon enough, or with the next probably few big patches, they're gonna be adding sailing, and you're gonna have, of course, villagers who are gonna be on your ship as your fighters, and you will be able to sail to certain other islands and find more enemies there. But the biggest thing about this that isn't even showcased in this trailer well is that you will have full control over the villagers. You can micromanage them if you want, or you can just go around selecting what they do and sending them to do certain things. So it is great, and this can be played in cooperative with other players, and they can either have like their own outposts in villages to run, or you can all just run one big village. But you're gonna have a need for outposts for certain like materials to get mined and all of that. So building also the village, four player co-op, that's the limit, because this is all gonna be peer-to-peer, and it's you could maybe mod it to have more players, but then you will need to have a massive machine to be the server to send all that information, everything. There's gonna be seasonal changes. I think they said like 24 minutes is gonna be a year or something like that. Well, certain things like that. You're gonna have changes of seasons, basically. They're gonna affect things. Yeah, sailing, island raids. And the only thing is this: there's no story here. I've hoped and I've told them that maybe they would. It's good to work on a story so players can have some things to do. There are kind of quests, but that's basically just collect certain things to build certain things. It's not proper full-on quests. This is already in early access. You can buy it, play it, join their Discord and help with the development, which a lot of people have. Next one is Replaced. Which is a really cool pixel art side-scrolling thriller in a weird future where like there is AI and AI can control kind of humans or take over them, and you are one of the AIs which took over a human body, or like is stuck there. Basically the biggest thing is the combat is very heavy and slow, and the impacts stick. There's kind of different things you can do, like bounce bullets back or projectiles back. You can hit enemies, dodge them. It's Arkham style combat in 2D, which is also interesting. This is not fully 2D. You can move like forward and backwards in certain areas, and you will need to progress. There's puzzling to a point. There's different characters you can interact. As I said, combat is very visceral, and you can it's mostly just melee until gun charges literally, and then you execute somebody basically. But it has a very interesting future kind of post-apocalyptic weird world, and the designs are also pretty interesting and fun to explore. This is definitely gonna be a game, which I already visualized that I would like to try out and play and just experience the whole world. But yeah, do check it out. If the demo ever comes out, I will definitely showcase it on my stream and we will play it. You can see it. Next one is Chronos. Oh boy. And you will see why I said oh boy in just a second. You can just get this. The New Dawn. The New Dawn. Okay. Wow, this is an expensive game. The thing about this game is the setting is gonna be in a Polish town, so get ready for Eastern European brutalism. It is going to have enemies that can mutate if you don't burn their bodies, so like red zombies in Resident Evil, but even worse. And something that, what is that Dead Space clone from the Dead Space developer? I even forgot its name, Jesus fuck. That could have done, but didn't, and I even talked to the developers if they were gonna do that, and they didn't. But yeah, you are this massive soldier thing that's sent into a dead city to figure out what's happened, I think, or mutate it. The lore is kind of weird, but the enemies are very tough. If you just go pew pew, you're not gonna kill them. You need to charge the shot and shoot them, but they're gonna be charging at you, and there's gonna be a lot of them, like as you see here. Unless you get like an upgrade with these cool weapons, you're not gonna have a lot of ammo, like barely any. The game is very difficult. It wants to do Dark Souls, but it kind of fails on the amount of enemies. There's too many, they could be too deadly. You don't have a dodge button basically. Even like the UI, they could have done the UI half on the suit and half not, but they didn't. They're half, you know, they actually did half on the suit, half, you know, Resident Evil 2 kind of inventory. They could have done more of it. Like they replaced everything, every, you know, menu, everything interact is kind of in game. Like when you're going through a menu to options, you're going through like a PDA that he has in his hand. So that's kind of a cool thing. Here it's slightly weird, and they could have done more with this, but the game is coming out in like a week. So there's no way they can change something unless they re-release a enhanced version. So that's gonna be weird. The setting and the like feel is great. Like it's very deep space. It's very Resident Evil 2. Like you're gonna enjoy that. But I think the difficulty at certain points is gonna be a little too much. Especially if you're not experienced in this game. So like this kind of game, you know. So this is for experts in, Resident Evil remakes and Dead Space. Like if you play those games, you're gonna be fine here. But if you're a new player to this kind of games, you're not gonna have a good time. You're absolutely not gonna have a good time. Let me blast through a few more indies. Honeycomb. What is it? Honeycomb. Yeah, The World Beyond is a survival crafter. You're not gonna have any much effect on the ground. You're basically the biggest thing about this, besides building your own base, is you are gonna be merging different types of plants together and then merging different types of animals. So cross-pollinating and bioengineering in order to find things so you can save Earth, basically, if I remember that correctly. You're gonna be the only one on the planet. You're gonna have an AI that's gonna talk to you, so it's kind of like Subnautica. And just as like that, you're not gonna have much in the interfering with terrain. You're gonna build a base. You're gonna have things. You're gonna have vehicles to traverse to certain, through map. You're gonna have enemies that you're gonna deal with, but you're gonna just tranquilize them. You can't kill them. So it's kind of basically grounded Subnautica. And you might actually find interest in this because you're gonna have to, scan a lot of things, collect a lot of things, explore this world, explore its biomes, combine, as I said, animals, combine plants to, grow better stuff. You can, as you see in the trailer, pet a lot of things. It is a decent idea, but it's gonna be for a certain type of player, I guess. And as you said, you might not be as badass as you think you could probably be in these kinds of games. We have then Campus Life, which is a pretty decent game. It's missing a lot of animations. The heads are not that big, I think. They kind of shrink them a little bit. It's not as comedic looking as it is, but you will have room to customize. You can go to classes, or you can skip classes, basically not even go to them. You can go work, pay up your student loans, basically do a lot of student life activities at your own pace and choice. There's gonna be no voice acting, but you're gonna be reading a lot of things, and it's in the end, that is also actually a time management game, because you're gonna have a limited time to, you know, complete college, do, you know, exams, learn this, learn that, and whatever you do, it's gonna, you know, boost your character in either, you know, in finances or like knowledge, basically. Next we have is another kind of a sequel, which is Project Tia, which, if you think that Thea is a familiar name, yes, this is a kind of a sequel or kind of a game set in the same universe and is the previous Tia games, but this time it's set in the far future, where like you know, you are supposed to help these not just humans but also mythical creatures live together, fight, and, you know, survive. It has a bunch of different mechanics, so it's not just a survival, it's an RPG, it's turn-based, it's deck builder, it's base builder, so they've kind of crammed a lot of mechanics in this. I don't know how much this is gonna work. There is a demo, I might play through it to check it out, but it feels like it has too many things in its, you know, mixed up and blended in. It could work well enough for you to have fun, or it could just have some mechanics that you really don't want to deal with, but you need to. So that's the problem of like adding a bunch of things into a game. And that's kind of actually the last one I did visit. Well, not fully. I visited a lot of indies, check out what they had, but you know, that's a whole other bag. I could speak for probably an hour about that. In any case, let me just showcase a few things that I got on Gamescom from like free goodies. Unlike previous years, where usually I would collect a lot of t-shirts or stuff like that, this year's theme was basically caps. I have like a Dune cap, the Star Trek Infection, the I Hate This Place kind of cap, well, this is the one, Raw Fury for its 10 years kind of cap. Like, that was kind of the deal of this year. It had a lot of bags. We had random stuff, like from this is what is this? Paramount. Yeah, this was from Paramount Plus. I got a SpongeBob puzzle. Then from Borderlands, this is the mask I was talking about. It's pretty decent, plasticky but pretty decent. This is from Anamo. You could get this livery, which is cool. I can wear it. World of Warcraft had this kind of tiara thing, which is pretty cool, you know, and really tough plastic. This isn't like easily breakable, and if you can like remove what it says here or kind of cover it, you can have kind of cool magical tiara. One of the weirdest things that I got is this deep dish dungeon, which gave me kind of some marshmallows, which I definitely need. Stalker 2 gave me a little figurine, which is limited to Gamescom, that's what they told me. And they also told me to like wait for 10 years before selling it. But the absolute weirdest thing is this blue honey. Like, I have absolutely never seen something like that, but I'm gonna try it. And then we will see how that goes. Of course, there were stuff like bags, there was stuff like mouse pads, there was different things. This is that scarf I told you from the lone caretaker. The Dawn Walker gave you a bandana, which is pretty cool. There's a bunch of other smaller crap. There's tons of like little pins, stickers, bunch of stuff like that. There was maybe something weirder, possibly, but I didn't didn't find it or I didn't collect it, there were a bunch of bags like what was it? Not Crystal Desert, but Crimson Desert was giving away like a backpack, which is pretty cool. And there was like a bunch of other things that you could collect. I collected what I could. The things that I bought for actual money, that's a whole other. So I finally got a laser pistol for Fallout, which is pretty cool. Vinyl. Okay. I got myself a new lightsaber, because why the fuck not? And this one also has sounds and everything. And I got myself some cards, like some flesh and blood stuff, like 3 decks that I want to open. I've got myself another commander deck. This one, Final Fantasy Terra, still has a good mechanic, even though it's not too powerful. But I also got a chance to play demos for Spider-Man, for Magic the Gathering Spider-Man cards, and I got 2 decks. I've gotten some Gundam starter demo decks as well, so I'm gonna give those to some of my friends. And yeah, I've got a bunch of little crap like that, and I was waiting all night, basically, and all day, to go and open up some of these, so I can check them out, and you're gonna be checking them out with me. First off, let's see, we also got a chance to build some, not Gunpla, but to build some, what is it, miniatures for the Gundam miniatures game. And that was pretty cool. Paint them and build them. First off, let's do the things. I've met some people who opened up some Cyber Eden Digimon cards, and they kinda gifted them to me. So I have some of these new cards that I'm gonna probably share with friends, because I don't think there's much that I'm looking for here. Oh wow, this is actually cool. Yugo Koshiro. And this guy. And Boltman. And Platinum Nume. Nude Platinum Nume. And Nyabutmon. I know somebody who has those nasty, what is it? Not plants. It was puppets. Yeah, he's gonna enjoy them. And New Shushu. New Flame things. This is Vidramon, Shumon, Cyber Eden, Cyberspace Eden, and the lights is gonna fuck around. Datamon, Monzaemon, Vegimon. Ooh! Jimmy Ken, nice. New Gabu. And Rina. New Rina. And new Mirai. They basically were looking just for some rares, super rares, and they gave me everything else, but they also gave me all of these because they didn't care, they didn't need them. I never like, thank them again for giving me these cards. At least I'm gonna, give some of them to friends that have the decks like Diaboromon and other things that I don't have or don't play. Oh, another Jimmy Ken. Oh, it's that we have 2 of them. Oh wait, I didn't go through already. This, new Palmon, new Metal Garurumon, but I think that's the new Nokia Stakama. New Platinum, and all that. So I can't use any of my Garurumon deck. Last one, last pack. Bonsai, Gold, this, that, another baby. Jesus, 2 babies. A lot of baby. And am I playing the circles? No, that's Gabumon. And yeah, this is the last one, Yugamon. Oh, this is the 4 pack, but the other ones are pretty good. The thing I got for going and playing the demo of Digimon is this thing, which is a tutorial deck. But a tutorial deck that not only has like old cards, it has some of the new ones that are still not released. So we have Manyamon for babies. We have the old Alakmon from EX1. Two of them. We have an Alakmon from BT14. Two of them as well. Salamon from BT15. Two of them. EX1 Gatomon. A BT3 Vanilla. We have Black Gato, which is pretty cool. Sirianimon, which is another BT11 Vanilla. We have Angevon from BT3. We have Piximon from EX7, which is probably the latest one of this deck. We have Junomon, like Jesus, they put Junomon in this. And we have a promo Apollomon Ace, which is probably the newest one besides... Oh, Yellow Memory Booster, forgot about that, that's one. Apollomons are 2. And Aegiumon, wow, which is 1. Okay, I thought there was gonna be at least 2 of these guys. I should have played more demos to get more of these decks. So Aegiumon is another promo, and Inori Misono is another promo. So very specific things. Jesus, I thought there were gonna be at least 2. I'm kind of sad now. This guy is a blocker and barrier, his barrier inherited. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain a memory. On play, I can play an Alakmon. The hand will pay cost or one of your Digimon may Digimon to Aegiumon in hand without paying cost. Aegiumon is a level 4 actually, so he's a champion. So that's gonna be in one of these. I have another one, which I don't think they're gonna have like special super turbo rare things or like a chance for you to pull like something, you know, extra. So I'm just gonna go through it and see if it's all, yep, all set. At least I get like a playset of Apollomon Aces, so that's a cool thing. More memory boosts and all that. Next one, let's go to check out the magic cards, because why not? These are in German, so I'm gonna have, if I want to play them, I'm gonna have to do some translation work, but this is basically the deck I played twice during the demo. I'm gonna put ones in the deck. So I kinda know what most of these cards do, and I would like to maybe make like a full-on Black Venom or Symbiote deck, because this is like a full Symbiote deck. There are some, of course, Enforcers and Humans, but it's like Venomous Hunger. Look how Swamp is said as Swamp. Jesus. German. Oh, there's like 2 of these? Yeah, 2 mechanical gangsters. Interesting. Well, this is kind of like a standard, I think, deck. It's not a commander deck, so you can have multiples. There's Tombstone as well. There's a bunch of cool cards, but as I said, it's German, so depends if people want to have those or not. Yeah, more Venomous Hunger. I think I'm gonna get rid of all the copies, and I'm gonna just keep the one-offs for basically for commander deck. Another Symbiote. Again, Enforcers. Ooh! A Spider Swarm! Oh, I'm definitely keeping this. This is cool. There's a few other extra cards, and that's pretty much it. Damn, that Spider Swamp is actually pretty cool. I don't know if what deck well, I'm gonna keep it for the Spider-Man deck, of course, probably. And we got a white deck as well. This was black, this was white. I didn't play this, but this is Spider-Man Peter Parker. Great! I love it. There is a Whip spell. Wild Peck Troop, or Troops, probably. Evanescent, whatever that means. Maybe it will focus, maybe it won't. Another Twip, a Amateur Anarchtid. I don't think any of these are like super rare or rare. There's gonna be probably commons. Like maybe the Parker is one is, the other ones are kind of wild back again. A lot of white man, another spider bot, they're like everywhere. What is this? Starling? So that one. Again, I don't expect the demo decks to have like hidden super secrets or super tall cards. Oh, MG. Hot. And again, I'll probably keep the Spider-Man next row. I'll probably keep the one-offs and Reporter and Daily Bugle. And give out the rest, or you know, of May. And another Spider-Man Team Land. Cool, I like it. That's for magic. Oh no, that's not then for magic. We have more magic. Besides that, I got 2 boosters. Where are the boosters? Oh, no, not just the boosters. I also got, first off, I got a Bloomborough starter. Well, not starter. This is a Bloomborough demo deck, which is also in German. So, got this little guy. And got. Just need to open this up. Okay. Come on. Don't fight me. Stay till midnight. This is a full deck. Like this is, I think, an actual full, 50 cards deck. Can maybe just showcase just some of the rare ones. I think at the beginning, the common ones are probably gonna be pretty common. And since this is kind of like a demo deck, I believe all of these are very common, very easily acquirable. Yeah, there's like 3 copies of a bunch of cards, and some 2 copies. Everything is German. I have no idea what their effects do. Oh, there's some dual lands. Okay. At least I might be reusing these lands. Yeah, there's a bunch of regular lands. Yeah, most of the rest of the deck is lands. And we have some tokens like the author and copy. And that's pretty much it. Cool, no special lands, but at least like these are, this is like a red blue dual land. Could be useful, could not. Once I figure out what it says, I'll be sure about that. But yeah, I got 2 Aether Drift boosters. So we're gonna open those and see if we get anything interesting. Like anything, these are not collector boosters, so we're not gonna be getting, a banger stuff. Look how perfectly I opened it. Look at it. Perfect. But let's see. Again, in German. I was expecting at least this to have English, maybe. So I have no idea what these cards say or what these cards are. But I'll have somebody to, question about this on Sunday. And the only thing I can maybe notice if it has like a shiny rare or something like that. Tenderbot. Fan, Fortuna, and Boss. Oh, she looks cool. Nice. Oh, Goblin Punch Fighter. This is just like shiny, like a foil. Is this search? No, I don't think this is search foil. This is just foil probably. And the land. And the cute signed doggy card. Nice. As I said, I know who I'll ask about any of this if they're worth anything. Because I'm not a full Magic player or collector, I'm just like Commander player. And that's pretty much it. Like if any of these cards could be helpful for me for my Commander shit, I'll probably, like if this is a counter or something, I'll probably keep it. But I'll probably get rid of these. And it's all gonna go into my budget for Gundam cards, basically. Ooh, this looks familiar. Oh. I haven't followed Data Drift that much. I don't think that's a good of a path people like. Oh, this is a Bear, Planeswalker, Artifact, legendary vehicle thing. Kaon's Spring Green, also kind of foil, I think. Shiny. I'll save some of these. Ooh, this is cool. This is a full art land. That's nice. I love those. And we have another one, cool art. I like these full art things. I like these artworks. That's pretty nice. Okay, done with that part of magic. Now we do this part of magic. What is the way to open this? I really didn't plan to get a new commander deck. I really didn't care to get, but this is still more Final Fantasy cards for once. And for another thing, it is a decent deck. It's not the best out of the 4. It's probably the worst out of the 4. But it has kind of a gambling mechanic, and it also can be really fun when it like actually kicks off. But it you know, if I don't wanna break people's minds with Pistola, I can bring this and play this instead. Shouldn't there be more stuff inside? Yeah, there is this. There should be a deck box. Yeah, there's the deck box. And there should be these token items. There is Terra. There is the crystal thing. This is crystal. And there is another. What is this? I'm kind of mangled. Another one. The Ustola one, I kind of mangled those. And there shouldn't there be like a booster? Did I got cheated? Did I take out the booster? And somehow seal this? There should be a booster. Let me see. Okay, pulled everything out and there is no booster. Oh no, wait, there it is. Okay. Fair enough of this to save it, so just. Yep. This is what I was waiting for. This is a collector booster sample pack, so we will see what cute things we get here. I don't believe we're gonna get anything worthy, but let's just see. If I can open this without fucking up the cards inside. Without need to use like scissors, which I don't know where they are. Oh no, actually see. Never mind. Opened it perfectly once again. And let's see what we get. We get, oh my fucking god, Yuna, Grand Summoner. And this is full art? Ah, Hildebrand! Nice! Another one! I mean, I have it for your Stola deck, but I need to check if this is like the same art, or if this is a better art. But this looks like it's kind of full art. It's foil, I think, not Surge. Oh my god, like this is so good. I don't know if she's... No, she's not in this one. She's in the Final Fantasy X deck. I think this is the same one, but this definitely has different art. Let me check. I'm now curious. I don't believe it's gonna be too much, but let's go. Just check on the PC if Yuna Grand Summoner. Okay, so this definitely is extended art, because you see the normal art. Let's see what we can. So, Borderless, no, this is completely different art. Is this extended art? Yeah, this is extended art. Extended art goes for around 10 bucks. Although somebody is selling it for 100 million euros. yeah, $10 at price. So it's not that great, but it's cool. What are these ones? There's not card, which actually sells for nothing. Like an extended art, search foil. Search foil is a little bit more. Borderless search foil. This is a different one. So I just have got the extended art. I don't know if we put different ones. I don't know how they look at them. Is it different? Look different. But that's not good. Actually, forgot to talk about Gamescom winners. I'll do that in a moment. But yeah, this is a cool pull. This is a much better pull, I think, than the from the Stola one that I got. As I said, I got that. I got the demo decks for this, and I'm just gonna open one of these just to see how they look, how Flesh and Blood looks. I got them for like $5 each, so it's not much of a waste. And you know, you could, if they are playable, like these Flesh and Blood starter decks, which I just told these are starter decks, if they're like actually playable, I could like play with a few friends, or we can test it out and play it together and see if you like this or not. Because I don't want to get into another PCG, like I already have too many. But I would maybe have like one thing to play and test out and see. This is all like wrapped up in wrappings and wrappings and wrappings. And cool card, I guess. Come on, let me rip it. Rip it hard. Got it. So I think this is kind of a commander for this. If it will focus the lights. And is this like their full art? So how to play? Oh, nice. There is a how to play. This is like 4.5 out of 5 difficulty. There's cool cards, cool art. Red hot. There's so much text in some of these cards. What the fuck is this, Yu-Gi-Oh? This is, I think, just fire these. There's something here. There's a bunch of attacks. I don't know how this even works. Like, are these creatures? Do I just buff my commander kind of thing? I will check it out. I will get some friends to teach me and I will play. But this looks pretty decent. It's called Dragon's Legend. Ooh, Ash Artist. It's a hot babe. Hot dragon lady, that's how I took it. No other reason. Any woozles, I've done some showcasing, I've done some opening, I've talked about the games that I've seen, and now let me just do what I said at the beginning. Let's see what the overview of the winners of Gamescom awards are. The Arts category group, Best Visuals, Resident Evil Requiem. Best Audio, Resident Evil Requiem. Best Gameplay, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Really? Next one, Most Entertaining, Hella, which is kind of two rats, I think, survival, something. Then Most Epic, whatever, Resident Evil Requiem. Most Wholesome, Hella. Games for Impact, Tiny Bookshop, which is pretty cute. Platform category group, Best Microsoft Xbox game, Grounded 2, which is okay. Best PC game, Anano. 117, Pax Romana, which is, there have been much better PC games, never mind. Best Sony PlayStation game, Resident Evil Requiem. Best Nintendo Switch 2 game, Mario Kart World, obvious. Best mobile game, Love in Deep Space. And I have just recently heard and learned about Love in Deep Space from a friend that I met by going towards Gamescom, which is interesting. Anyway, Global Category Group, Best Lineup, Jury Award, Capcom Entertainment, Best Booth, Jury Award, Anano, Patsumana, Hands-on Booth, plus Ubisoft's Community Lounge. That's bullshit, because only certain people had access to the Community Lounge. Best Business Booth, Jury Award, Ubisoft Business Lounge, again, bullshit. Heart of Gaming Award Special Jury Prize Gamescom Artist Area. That is actually amazing. Best Boot Consumer Award Pokemon. Best Merch Consumer Award Starbird's Gacha Machine. Okay. Best Trailer Consumer Award Hello Night Silk Song. Of course, everybody's waiting for Silk Song. Anyway, this was my recap of Gamescom 2025. Next year, when I hopefully go there with a bunch of friends or find more time, I will do some kind of like daily shorts or reporting over there. But until then, this is what I can do, and it's better than previous years that I went and tried to record and did mostly nothing. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, thank you for sticking around, do like, subscribe, comment, dance, there is Patreon for support, and you can check me out on YouTube for Let's Plays, demo analysis for Star Wars and whatever I'll do there, or on Twitch for, whenever I stream. That is YouTube at By Pen and Paper or Twitch / By Pen and Paper. The next time, as always, remember, it's the story that play. See ya.